Welcome, and thank you for joining us for the East Baton Rouge Parish Library's Mid-City Microcon. Although this is our third year doing the Mid-City Microcon, this is our very first 100% virtual con. The Mid-City Microcon is a celebration of diversity in comic book characters, creators, and their fans. This event provides a free, inclusive opportunity for new and lifelong fans to find themselves in the world of comics and art, both on the page and behind the scenes. We strive to amplify the voices of creators who challenge the status quo, especially those who have been historically underrepresented in the comic book industry, and also local creators from Baton Rouge and Louisiana. Unlike many comic book conventions, the Mid-City Microcon does not charge a fee to vendors nor attendees, thereby allowing more freelance, independent, and self-published creators a space to showcase their work. For more information about this year's Microcon, as well as previous years, please visit our website at ebrpl.com/MCMC. Thank you.
So, welcome to the In Living Color YouTube podcast and online content panel. I'm your moderator for today, Chenese Lewis. Thank you for joining us. First, let's start off by getting to know our panelists. So, briefly, tell me your name and what kind of content you create. Let's start with Joe. But Joe, you have somebody with you today.
Yes. So my name is Joe Kennedy. This is David Jewell. We're part of INDAFILM LLC, and we're the creators of the online web series Trapped in Anime, specializing in online content creation, short sketches, short films. Dave, anything you want to say about it real quick?
Yeah, I mean, basically Trapped in Anime is essentially a live action parody web series where we try to take regular real life scenarios and change them into kind of an epic anime short film, whether it's making a sandwich anime, forgetting your mask in anime, you know what I'm saying? Anything like that, we kind of change into this kind of epic, hyper active, essentially short film at the end of the day. It's good fun.
And next, Gamma Rae.
Hey everybody, my name is Gamma Rae Cosplay. I'm a lawyer by day, cosplayer by night, and a geek always. I got into cosplay about 3 years ago. Went to my first Comic-Con locally and saw everybody dressed up in all these costumes, and I've been hooked ever since, and it's been a fun, crazy, amazing journey and adventure. I've been able to express myself even more. I've been able to meet a lot of great people. And it also segued me into doing co-hosting a podcast called Geeked Up with my fellow co-host, DJ Young Benham. And I mean, we just talk about what it's like being a Black nerd in the South. And yeah, definitely having a great time. I challenge myself with my cosplays. I like to not box myself in to only doing Black characters. If I want to do a spiky, pink-haired, character, I want to do it, I might add a little Black girl magic with some curls to it. But yeah, I kind of like making it my own. So yeah.
And so Tyronecia.
Yes. So I'm a full-time graphic designer. And in my free time, I do a lot of illustration work and vintage reselling. So a lot of my content is based off of just me taking vintage clothing and making it more vintage and thrifted clothing, making it more accessible to other people. Sort of like changing their mindset around like things that are old being used and like not worthy of use or whatever. And just trying to build self-esteem through clothing and like the mundane through illustration. So it's kind of what I do. It's a mix of like using mental health or speaking about mental health through various media.
Awesome. And Donterrian, am I pronouncing your name correctly?
Yes, ma'am.
Now tell us about your content.
Well, my name is Donterrian Kelly. I'm the creator of the YouTube channel known as Anime on the Couch. Basically, what we do on Anime on the Couch is we make comedy sketches surrounding anime, gaming, comics, and things of that nature. And we're starting to branch out more and just make comedy sketches about just pretty much anything.
Awesome. So today, the panel is just an hour. So we're going to do 2 answers per question. So I'll ask the question to 2 people, but if you have something like really pressing to add, please, jump in, but just want to keep it to an hour. So the inaugural Mid-City Microcon in 2018 was inspired by the release of Marvel's Black Panther. It hadn't even hit theaters yet, and its cultural footprint was already enormous. A week before the movie premiere, our first Microcon took place with the theme, Welcome to Wakanda, celebrating a defining moment in Black America. Last night, we were all shocked to learn of the untimely passing of Chadwick Boseman, the actor who played Black Panther. Just like his work and the movie inspired the creation of this event, I'm sure it inspired all of you. Do you think the conversation about diversity and inclusion in comic book and the cosplay community started with the release of this movie? Joe, I'm gonna start with you.
All right. I think it is definitely, like, movies like Black Panther are definitely important because it takes it to a wider audience. But of course, like, the fight's been going on for a long time. One story that I really love is from Neil Adams, who did very prominent work in DC Comics and Batman. He actually created John Stewart, the first Black Green Lantern. And that was a very pivotal moment because it was a really accurate representation of just like an average American man becoming a superhero. So I think these conversations are definitely important because it's got to become something that's normal, where seeing a Black character stand alongside the Justice League or the Avengers or any other superhero team is just another part of a group and less about, that now this person has to be here just to fit a quota. But, characters like Black Panther, Spawn, John Stewart, I think they very much earn their places among, these pantheons of characters. So I think it's incredibly important. Dave, anything?
No, I agree with you. And for me, it was really important and impactful for me, not just, seeing, Chadwick Boseman, but also seeing the, behind the scenes, Ryan Coogler, this writer and director come on board as well. So for me, seeing someone like that, all come together, Black creators across the board to be on that side of, on that level was really important for me to see as well.
And Gamma Ray, I want you to put in your input, because I think when Black Panther came out, a lot of people were doing Black Panther cosplay. So did you think that was a big impact to the Black cosplayers?
Oh, most definitely. I want to say the months leading up to the movie and even well after to today, a lot of the cosplays that I saw at the cons were definitely inspired by the movie Black Panther, the characters. I myself did a group cosplay mashup of Sailor Moon and the Dora Milaje with Wakanda Moon, and just that inspiration to pull something that reflects us, where we can see ourselves, and pull that culture into cosplay, where it kind of continues to make it our own. People have been taking it and putting their own spin on it, and I think it's been incredible. I've seen some amazing cosplays, and I think that pulled a lot of people who were never probably introduced to it or kind of skeptic of, I don't know if I'm really into cosplay, I don't know if I want to do it, like, is this for me? I think connecting it to rooting it into something like Black Panther, which is just Black culture in itself, and also nerd culture, bringing it together, I think it definitely opened up a wide avenue for more Black nerds and geeks to get together, just from all different fandoms. So definitely had a strong influence.
Now, as a Black content creator, what obstacles have you had trying to build your brand and grow your audience? Tyronecia?
So for me, it's just constantly doubting, like, whether or not, like, I should put my full Blackness, like, out there first. So yes, like, always like debating on whether or not like I should be this black or that black. I'm nervous. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Can you ask me the question again?
As a Black content creator, what obstacles have you had trying to build your brand and grow your audience? Well, we could go to Donterrian and we'll come back to you.
Thank you.
Well, a few obstacles I've come across is it's kind of hard to get your content out there, especially starting off really small. You know, it's kind of hard for people to see your content because, you know, for things like algorithm, it doesn't, you know, push your content because you are one of those bigger content creators. And, you know, just another obstacle could be some people aren't as likely to look at your content because you are a Black content creator and you're dressing as characters that people may quote unquote believe to be white or, you know, not Black. So that could be an obstacle because people are less inclined, I guess you can say, to watch your content. But yeah, that's just a few.
And Ty, can I call you Ty? Because I know I'm messing up your name.
Yeah, that's fine. So with me, like in a lot of the content that I put out, my face is always the first thing that you see for the most part. So I don't necessarily see it as an obstacle. It's just wondering if people are gonna take me in this full look, or like if people are gonna to take the words that I put out and really take heed to like what I'm saying or what I'm experiencing as a Black woman. Like if they're gonna really like show some compassion to like what I'm experiencing through these thoughts and like these ideas. So it's just like always wondering like if the white audience is really paying any attention to anything that I have to say or that I have to express at all. So yeah, and I don't really know what it is that I could do to make them listen, but I do think that's like a mental obstacle.
Mm-hmm. So how important is it to invest in equipment to get started as a content creator? And what do you do when you have a limited budget? Joe?
Sure. I mean, because in working amongst my own group and even associating with other friends of mine that are in this sort of creative online field, there is, of course, an importance, and especially how competitive things are now, to step up your production value so that you can compete on a level playing field. But the important thing is, if you've got a passion, if you've got a drive in what it is that you want to do and what you want to talk about, at least finding enough equipment to get your start, whether it's a matter of investing in certain things first, but then over time, you know, adding more parts to the PC, getting better lightings, getting better cameras over time, just so that way you can start getting some momentum going. I feel like there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. He's more the technical guy. He knows more than I do on this question. So.
I mean, yeah, just briefly, I think equipment's important, but what's more important than that is honestly what you do with the equipment, right? I mean, we actually have like 4K cameras and things like that, but we actually film traps and anime with our phones, and it's really about, I think, the talent behind it at the end of the day. So I would say brush up on your skills and editing and the creativity and stuff. That's more important than the camera, because anybody can get a good camera, but what can you do with that camera to take it to the next level?
And to find ways to make yourself unique as well.
And Donterrian, I heard you giggle when I asked that question. So what's your opinion on it?
Well, honestly, I guess it depends on your content and what you're making for, is like equipment and things that you'll need. But for me, I literally spent I guess collectively maybe $3,000-$4,000 on content since I started creating content back in 2018. I don't necessarily believe that you need to have a bunch of different like equipment, things like stuff. Like they just said, you could just literally film content with your phone. But yeah, your production value, I feel like, for me anyway, I like for my production value to consistently increase. So for me, I have more equipment. I have, light fixtures and microphones, stuff like that, because I want my content, my production to be better as time goes on. But I feel like it's really based off of you and what content that you create and like the videos that you create. Because some videos you may not need, you may just need just the phone. But for me, like, I like to add special effects and stuff, just like kind of like trapping animated TV and things of that nature. But I don't believe you necessarily have to have equipment to get started. When I first started, all I had was a camera and my computer, and that was it, you know. But I just slowly gathered equipment over time, so it just depends on you.
So I'm gonna stay with you for the next question, because you said that you have invested like $3,000 to $4,000 in yourself to create your content. So what are some of the best ways to monetize the content you create so you can get some of that money back?
I would say, man, honestly, just to continue to pump out content, continue to make content is, I feel like, it's the best way. I think you'll get a return. As long as you keep putting in the effort, I feel like you'll eventually get that return. You can do things to help boost that by, you know, maybe paying for ads if you need to on Google, or Google ads, or Facebook, Instagram, anywhere. Just putting out your content into as many places as you possibly can so people can see your content. I feel like that's one of the biggest things, the biggest challenges from when you're first starting off is literally getting people to see your content. Because when I first started, I mean, no one would ever see my content until I found out different avenues. Like, you could do things like, I guess, join different groups on Facebook, like what I first did. And I was already in a bunch of anime groups. And for the ones that allowed me, I would post my content in their groups. And then I would do things like I use Google Ads stuff, because like they said in Trapped and Animated, it is a competitive market now. So, I mean, you gotta spend money to make money, you know, and that helps boost you up. Then I say go for it.
And Gamma Ray, how do you monetize your content as a cosplayer?
For me, it's about kind of connecting it to my podcast that I help co-host with. As I said, with Geeked Up, we essentially try to utilize our Patreon, you know, encouraging our, you know, followers and, you know, supporters. They kind of ask, like, you know, how can we help? How can we support? And we're just like, you know, share, like, subscribe, follow, share, because honestly, the more people that kind of help get your name out there to create a buzz as far as your content and what you're putting out, whether they want to contribute and support financially or just help to build up your following, that definitely can help kind of bring back that revenue and help cover expenses. Because with our Patreon, thanks to our subscribers, we're able to now cover any of our expenses as far as that associated with streaming on our streaming platform. So that helps out a lot. Like, we tell everybody, every dollar helps, every dollar counts. I mean, even if it's nickel, dime, quarter, penny, whatever, even if it's just a like, the fact that if you shared it, somebody else that saw it, that person might decide to want to contribute and support financially. So it's definitely about utilizing it on those kind of platforms in that aspect, and also through your connections, even like, you know, sponsorships are getting associated with other businesses. If they reach out and be like, hey, you know, I like what you're doing, and posting, if I send you this kind of free of charge, or if I offer to help cover this, would you help promote or get in cosplay and, you know, holding this DVD or something like that. So
you're like an influencer.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
And so I think I want to take this question around to everybody, because I think a lot of people be interested in how you make money from doing this. So Ty, as a photographer, are you trying to monetize on social media, or you would instead book clients to do photo shoots? Unmute yourself.
Both. I think the beauty of social media is that you do, like Donterrian said, like, you do get the opportunity to get more eyes on it. So I would say within the last year or so, like, not photography specifically, but I've been getting more illustration clients because I've been willing to, like, produce the content that moves me, and in turn it ends up moving other people. So they reach out to me wanting me to create things on those topics because I was willing to put myself out there. So, like, the money is coming just organically because I'm doing what I genuinely want to do. So yeah. And
guys, you want to add to the monetization?
Yeah. No, sure. Yeah. I mean, there's definitely a few avenues you can take. Once you hit a certain viewership, you know, sponsorships, you know, is a big thing where, you know, if you can incorporate, you know, I say naturally incorporate, you know, a brand or a company's product into your content, I think that's the best thing. Maybe about a year or so, we did a sponsorship with Gushers where we kind of tied in kind of like, we do like anime themed videos. So we kind of tied in like, it was almost like a Food Wars parody, if those who've seen Food Wars, the anime. So it was kind of tying in that. But in general, like, sponsorship, you can sell your own product. You can sell, tutorials, T-shirts like we have. So there's definitely a lot of avenues, but it's kind of like, I feel like the biggest thing, you have to find those things yourself. A lot of times, like, yeah, we've had people come to us, but a lot of our stuff we found, we went out and emailed companies that we found that we thought fit with us. Like we did something with a company called Anime Power Effects, which they have a camera app in the App Store where it's just anime effects for video and photo. So we reached out to them. They saw us. It kind of fit in line with what we do. We worked with them on a few projects. So I think you have to take the initiative to find potential clients and stuff for your own projects, honestly.
Yeah. And to add on that briefly, you've got to come to it with every tool that you have at your disposal. So, and it's going to be hard work finding all those opportunities, but it's problems that you would rather have. So.
Nice. So that was, I know a lot of people want to make money from this. So that was great info from everybody. So it seems like everybody here is a content creator as a business, not as a hobby. So how important are likes and engagement to you on your social media posts? If you post something that you took a week to make and get 0 likes, would you be devastated? Who wants to take that? Who wants to start with that one?
You feel that.
Go ahead.
I can take that. It's interesting for us because we've had a lot of videos, and for us, we're doing full productions where it's storyboarding, writing, location scouting, full multi-cameras, shooting special effects. So we have a lot of videos that take a lot of time. But what we've noticed is like at the end of the day, it's like a roll of the dice in terms of how the audience reacts. We've had videos where we spend 2 weeks of working on where it gets like maybe 1,000 views. We've had other videos where it takes like 2 minutes on set to hit 1 million views. So it's almost like roll the dice. For us, it's just about putting the work out there and letting the audience decide, and we kind of have to let go, because if we get too personal and attached to each individual video, we will be heartbroken and crying at the end of some of them. So it's really up to the audience. But yeah, it's hard to say which is going to work. The audience decides it at the end of the day.
Definitely. No.
Anyone else want to chime in?
I definitely want to chime in on that, because that was an adjustment because when I first started getting into cosplay, definitely was hobby, just a creative outlet for myself. And then I definitely started to become more fit into it as they, download this editing software on my phone, inexpensive, but I spent all this time on trying to put the perfect filter and get the right pose and, hours and all this, and especially hours in the cosplay, building a prop or something. And I'm like, I post it and I'm like, watch, it's going to just like, oh, I'm so excited. Everybody's going to want to give me likes and look at it and whatnot. And it would just be like crickets. And then a random closet cosplay, something that I pulled, either got from a thrift store or something I put out of my own closet, threw that on and did like a quick selfie in my Insta story and posted it, and everybody's just like, what? So I was just like, wait a minute, I didn't really do anything. But then I had to kind of check myself and tell myself like, wait, remember why you're doing this, because if you get too caught up in, even though we are content creators and we approach it as a business, but if you get too caught up in the likes and like, oh, why isn't anybody following me, or that person unfollow me, or I'm not getting that much engagement, like you'll burn out so fast. Like you literally have to kind of hold on to that passion that kind of pulled you into it in the first place, and just remember to just have fun with it, and the benefits will kind of just follow after that. Because if you kind of stay focused on that, you will stop doing it for yourself, and you really will just be like, what can I do for the people out there to just get them more engaged, versus doing stuff that I genuinely can connect with, because it won't come off authentic at all. It'll be like, you're kind of trying a little too hard. So yeah, it can be discouraging, but you just continue to have fun with it.
Absolutely.
Anyone else want to chime in on this?
Yeah. They pretty much said it all. Because I think it seems like we all experience the same thing. I know for me, I don't when I first started Anime on the Couch, like everything that you guys, if you watch my videos, everything that you see in the videos is literally me just coming up with these ideas. And I have no background in editing or anything. When I first started this, I had no background in cameras, editing, anything like that. So when I'm learning things, or you see maybe the special effects, you maybe see me clone myself in my videos, it's literally me just coming up and looking at them how to do it and trial and error. So I definitely went through that with the video I made. Name of the video is When Shadow Clones Become Self-Aware. I made one, and it took me all day to make the video, and I didn't know how to do anything, so I'm just learning as I was going. And that video got a great reception. And I thought, oh, this is good. This is cool. I want to make another one. So I made another one. And the other one took me a week to learn, because I was adding special effects. I had to set a sword on fire or whatever. And so it took me a week to get it done. And when I finally got it done, I was really proud of it. I thought I was going to do way better than the first. And then I uploaded, and it literally got half the amount of views that the first one got. So it was kind of, I was like, what is this? I was a little like upset behind it, and it's part of it, and like you said, there are sometimes, matter of fact, I have a video. The name of the video is how anime groups in a nutshell be. And that video is like one of my biggest videos. And I literally came up with the idea while I was at work that day. And I went home, I made it real fast, and I threw it out, and everybody loved it. And I was like, it is still to this day not even one of my favorite videos. I didn't put much effort into it. There were no special effects, nothing special really about it. And people received it way, way better than the Shadow Clone video. I was like, all right. And so, like they said, it's kind of a roll of the dice. You don't know what is going to be the video that pops up or the cosplay that pops up that everyone loves. It's just kind of a roll of dice.
Do you guys ever delete content with low engagement then repost it? Because sometimes people say a certain time of the day or a certain day of the week gets higher engagement, and you're supposed to know your audience.
I used to care about things like that, but it doesn't matter. Like, I pay more attention now to like whether or not people are bookmarking things, because it lets me know that they're sitting with like that content. But as far as like trying to be very technical and strategic about like this has one like, let me delete this. Like it was true to like how I felt in that moment, so I'm gonna keep it on there. Otherwise, like I'm creating this persona that's not really true to the content that I'm trying to create. So yeah, I don't do that.
Anybody else has a schedule, like a certain day, a certain time that you think you get higher engagement?
I mean, we try to stick to a schedule for sure, but for us, like I said, the videos take so long to make, it's hard to get on a schedule. But we do like try to like look up and like, research. You can look at your analytics and see when your audience is online, in various apps and stuff. So we definitely try to, follow those guidelines when it comes to time of upload. The schedule, I don't think we have a schedule.
Yeah,
really.
well, there's too many concepts.
Whenever we finish the video.
Yeah, but even on the level of, because sometimes when we make a video for like a certain trend or for a certain holiday or event, and then if it rolls around the next year, then sometimes we'll even re-upload as like a throwback, and sometimes it pays off. So, I'd say never quite give up on the content you produce, because sometimes you might have a sleeper hit, so you never know.
Nice. Now, one of the things that made Black Panther so successful was how it tactfully addressed relevant, hot-button political and economic problems. Yesterday was the March on Washington. Protests are happening in many parts of the country, and even athletes are taking a stand for racial injustice. Do you include current events in your content creation that reflect the times? Let's start with Donterrian.
I haven't done anything. I don't think I put anything in my content as of late when it comes to the. No, now I think about it, no, I don't. Not to say I never will, but I just haven't. I can't think of anything that I have put in that would stand out, So no, I don't think I have. It's definitely something in the future that I plan on doing, but it just hasn't happened organically.
What about you, Gamma Rae?
For me, no. Mostly because I try to I try to kind of put that out there and maybe other avenues as far as, you know, hashtag support Black businesses or sharing Black content creators, like their content, their businesses on my cosplay page, because like I said, by day, I'm a lawyer and I'm a state, I work for the state, and this persona, my cosplay persona is very separate from my, you know, my regular day-to-day like job life. And I just know I have to be kind of walk a fine line in as far as like what I can really just voice and put out there publicly, because it is a reflection of, you know, my job and my fellow colleagues. And that's why I try to not go too far off. But honestly, I don't think that should be seen as a good thing or a bad thing. I feel like everybody in your own right, especially as a content creator, should be able to support the cause and however you want, whether that's by, you know, like I said, shopping and supporting only Black businesses, sharing Black artists', you know, artwork or videos, content, or if you do want to kind of take your platform to voice just your overall feelings and utilize it that way. But I think it just depends on the person and that whether you want to decide to do it or not. I don't think you should be kind of judged for it, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry.
Oh, you want to add something?
Yeah, I just want to add that I agree with what she's saying. Like for me, what I do is like I buy a lot of content. Like the art pieces that you, if you might see my videos you see on the wall, were all made by Black content creators. I support like Black content creators by, you know, buying their Patreons, and I just bought a book from Death Note Chris, who's also a Black content creator. I think there's a lot of different ways that you can showcase your support. Like if I have conversations with people at work, I'll repost about Black Lives Matter and things of that nature. So I think it's just a bunch of different ways, because some people, like, I know I talked to Caleb City, or what's Caleb City? I think so. Or heard him talk, and he does it. I don't think he politicizes a lot of things in his content, because he wants his content to kind of be an escape for people, you know, from them everyday life, you know, because being Black in America can be stressful, and it can have you just emotionally torn all the time. So sometimes it's great to have that escape, where you can watch some content that makes you feel good, makes you laugh, and not, you know what I'm saying, make you think about what's going on in the world. So I agree with what she was saying.
To chime in on that too, super quick, because it's a fine line that even, you know, we have to walk too. Like, we're a team of 6 people, so there is a good diversity in like the ideas and everybody in the group. And sometimes some of us actually do want to really say something, but then at the same time, we are business. We are, you know, in the industry of trying to get people's attention. So we understand the risk of sometimes when you make this content, it's not going to please everybody. So sometimes you have to take sides, and we try to keep things lighthearted, but also try to keep things relevant. So, you know, maybe we'll poke fun at the absurdity of modern events of like people refusing to wear masks or forgetting to wear their mask or dealing with Karens in public. That's always fun. But, you know, I feel at the same time, we all have our voices. We all have our own minds and opinions. So speaking up is definitely important, but you don't have to feel obligated to do so, because it is sometimes ugly engaging in that conversation. But sometimes it's worth it to be kind of tough about it and speak and stand your ground. I think you covered it. Mm-hmm.
I have recently, especially with illustration, like I speak on racism in a way that is digestible for people who may not know how to start that conversation. So like I start with microaggressions, because that's something that people can understand, or at least have seen or have experienced if they have not experienced anything overt. So like speaking about microaggression and breaking it down, and just so like white people or Black people who may not have realized that they've ever experienced it can start that conversation. Like, it's all about just getting people to think about it, hopefully share it, and then hopefully have that conversation with someone else. And just like with me posting outfits, like it's very hard to escape the fact that I am a Black woman who looks like this. So that in itself is me talking about like my race and like my body. So yeah, it's just, there are ways to do it very lighthearted, but I don't think there's a way of dancing around it or avoiding it as a Black person.
Now, I find it very fascinating that no one on the panel is really, into posting Black Lives Matter across their platform, not judging, but do you think it's because you're in a community that's underrepresented by African Americans? Do you think that you'll get a backlash because some of these, like in the cosplay community, I heard could be very racist? I'm not sure about the comic book. Do you think that is a part of why you guys aren't more vocal? Because I'm not really in that world, but on my social media, I'll, put about plantations, Black Lives Matter, I can't breathe. I'll put it all on mine. So I'm wondering, is it because of the market you're in that you're hesitant to do it?
Mm-hmm. I can chime in a little bit on that. See, I think the thing for us is that, you guys know we make, anime parody videos. And I think, it is sometimes a creative struggle to come up with natural ways to incorporate that into the content, like we don't want to just put up, just like we still want it to be in line with what we do per se, right? And I think that's something we're struggling with now, like trying to figure out, honestly. We've had a lot of conversations about how can we talk about this topic, but it still be a trapped in anime video. You see what I'm saying? Like it's still incorporated with what we do and what our fans expect, right? Because I think if we can somehow put that into our content in subtle ways and stuff, it doesn't take away from the video and the message is still there. So we're still working on figuring that out. So that's really what it comes down to for us.
Yeah, it is a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
I'll chime in. For me, the cosplay, like you were saying, I want to kind of keep it separate, on my personal, regular Rachel Sprinkle, like that social media platform. Like I will share, certain things that like stories as far as anything dealing with protests or anything like that, just to kind of put it in, just bring awareness to it and shed light on it on that social media platform. But more so when it comes to my cosplay, like they were saying, I kind of want to keep it not necessarily light, but kind of keep it as an escape. But I also try to maybe tie it in to supporting, like I said, other fellow Black cosplayers, because as you mentioned, we definitely, some of them have definitely experienced some horrible, just backlash and like racism. And it just blows my mind how I see this amazing cosplay. And of course, the character they're based off on necessarily isn't Black. Some of them aren't necessarily even human, but somehow because a Black person is cosplaying as that character, they're just like, that's not what they look like. You're wrong. This character's supposed to be kind of white. Like, you look horrible. All this. And it's just, it blows my mind. I'm like, this is cosplay. There are no rules. Like, what do you mean? Like, you're able, that's the whole purpose of it and the point. You get to dress how you want. So when I see stuff like that, I try to share that person's hard work and effort on my page and lift them up. And that's kind of how I try to use my cosplay platform in that aspect when it comes to kind of bringing awareness and light to the just negative and sad world of just, racism and craziness that we live in.
Anyone else want to add to that?
Yeah.
I've got a small point to add. I had it and then I lost it and then I got it again. But basically, it's kind of also an interesting thing where you've also got to be understanding of how things are on the other side. As much as I hate to divide left and right, because it really doesn't matter, but it is weird because we are almost speaking two completely different languages. And the sad thing is that even though, like, our intentions may be pure in what we say, of course, Black lives matter to us. We have friends who are Black. We have families who are Black. We are Black. But on the other side, they hear Black lives matter, and it's like, well, why don't I matter too? And it's like, that's not what we're talking about. Or defund the police. On paper, it sounds scary. But if we have to go out of our way to explain this is what we actually mean, we've pretty much already lost them. So it's going to be, and even for me personally, like we made a little small video on our page to kind of talk about, recent things that had happened. But even at that point, I almost didn't fully get it. And then I had actually heard the perspective told to me in a different way. And it's like, okay, now I get what you're talking about with systemic racism and this and this. So I think these conversations are important to have and being respectful about it so that people are actually willing to listen.
Ty, you had something to add?
Oh yeah, like you were mentioning in the beginning that you don't see it like posted on all of our pages. I think it's like there's more than one way to be Black, and there's also more than one way to say that Black Lives Matter. So if you go through my page, you'll see me speak about it in a way that is true to me. Because sometimes it can be very performative to just place it here and there, just so people can acknowledge that like you do this and that. But it's like my social media is just one facade of like who I am, or just one part of who I am. So it's more important to actually like live that outside of that. So me knowing that I do the work outside of my social media is way more important than people seeing this posted here on this day. Like, because I'm not looking for that validation from people in that way.
Got it. So I don't know what everybody does for a living beside content creation except Gamma Rae. I don't know if I'm allowed to say. But how do you manage or separate your professional life from your online persona, or in some cases, maybe it's just one thing mixed up? So I'm gonna start with you, Gamma Rae, because I know you have input on that.
Yeah, it is definitely a balancing act. When I first started really getting into it, I was very apprehensive, because I'm in that quote unquote kind of corporate America kind of setup. Being an attorney, there might be, and especially being the type of attorney I am, working for the health department, you have a certain kind of label almost that you have to present a certain type of persona. So I used to be very apprehensive of being like, man, I don't want nobody to think I'm kind of like weird, or like, what if they think I'm out here trying to, post certain things that are probably inappropriate, or, anything. Maybe we need to report her to the bar association. So I was kind of apprehensive, but then, my husband, who has been one of my top and most amazing supporters, was just like, who cares? Like, you're not doing nothing crazy. This is just a way for you to express yourself. Like, how are they going to fire you for that? Like, and I was like, you know what, you're right. And I started to kind of share it more with my colleagues, and I found out a lot of them were really into attending conventions and, watching anime and stuff like that. And they're just like, what? I thought it was just me. And I'm able to connect to a lot of other fellow Black colleagues that kind of felt that they were, like kind of abnormal, like by themselves. So definitely just keeping it like separate. Like, I have my Rachel day-to-day lawyer kind of social media or persona that people might see with my little, professional profile pic. And then here we go, I have Gamma Rae Cosplay, and what kind of cosplay would I come up with this week? So I don't try to get too caught up anymore as far as what people are going to think or what my colleagues are going to think. Like, I know what type of content I'm putting out. I know it's a reflection of me. It's nothing crazy that's going to bring any shame to myself, my family, make my job, put my job in a bad light in any kind of way. So yeah, I feel like as long as I'm able to have those kind of somewhat separate but almost kind of equal, I just kind of put out however I feel. So it was a balancing act, but yeah, I just try to not worry about it and just connect and share.
Does anybody else have to separate real life from this content?
Yeah, I work for a university, so I can't get too political about certain things because I'm an advocate for the state. But then I have to remind myself sometimes like that they knew who I was when they met me. So I'm not going to hold back in a way that like makes me doubt myself. So like that's a reminder for me to keep doing what I'm doing. So yeah, it's separate, but like she said, there's a way of doing it so that you stay true to you and what you're trying to do.
Anybody else? Now, Donterrian, you have your government name on your pages like me. So you are one with your brand.
Yeah. For its jobs and work and all, I keep it separated in the sense of I don't I never post about my job. I never post. If you see me at work, you just know where I work. For me, my job literally is just to make sure my bills are paid. So, I want to do this full time and do much more besides just having me on the couch. But my job literally is just to pay my bills. To be honest with you, I don't post about it. You know, it's really just to get my bills paid. Pretty much, just as what my job is. You know, I just keep it separate. I keep my job separate. But I've done this before. Even when I was a content creator, I just always never talked about my job, never posted about my job, no matter where I worked. People at my job, I don't hide the fact that I'm a content creator though. People at my job, everybody that knows me pretty much knows that I'm a content creator at work. I don't hide it. I just don't ever bring my work home, basically.
Well, do you think, I'm going to ask this to you guys, Trapped Anime, do you think like if you did tell your job, you could get some fans and some followers, or you'd rather keep it separate?
I mean, yeah, sometimes, because I've met people that do keep up with our content. Some of them become longtime fans, but I'm pretty much in the same boat here, is that I try to separate as much as possible. I've still got like computer training I need to do for my job, but it's as soon as I get home, it's the last thing that I think about. But I think the biggest challenge for us is, again, we're like a team of 6 and we're all trying to balance each other's schedules. 2 of us don't even live in the same state as us. So we have meetings throughout the week. We are constantly trying to stay up to date on everybody's work, link up when we can, and try to stay as productive as possible. So it's quite an adventure.
And I'm pretty open with mine. I mean, outside of Trapped in Anime, I'm a video editor and an instructor. So I mean, like, most of my video editing friends think it's cool that I have a page that we, you know, make content on, because, you know, like a lot of us do a lot of client work where the videos that we work on are a lot more dynamic, a lot more fun to make and stuff. And then as an instructor, like I have a lot of students who I teach video classes to. So, you know, a lot of my students become fans because they see like, oh, your instructor is like, they think it's cool that we do like anime videos and stuff versus like kind of the typical corporate videos and stuff like that I do. So I'm pretty open with it, especially because, you know, the content that we do is, I mean, relatively clean. It's like around PG-13, so we're not doing anything too crazy where I would be embarrassed of my workplace knowing about it. So because of that, I'm pretty open with it, and everybody's pretty accepting. And like Joe said, they become fans too.
Yeah.
I just can't bother to bring it up because I just don't care at work. Let me just get out of there.
So the only content someone would probably be embarrassed and hide if they had an OnlyFans page or something like that.
Depending on what you're doing on there.
Yeah. It depends what you're doing.
So we are winding down to the panel discussion. We're coming towards the end, and we covered a lot of things today, but I want to leave our viewers with some advice. If somebody is watching and they are interested in being a content creator and following in all of your footsteps, but they're scared to take the first step, what advice would you give, and any final thoughts? So we're going to take this to everybody. Who wants to start?
I'll start.
Oops. Oh, no, I was keep it short and sweet. I was just going to keep it short and sweet.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Because I feel like I am one of the beginners in comparison to a lot of what y'all have said today. So I would just say, like, trust in your ideas and start with what you have.
Very good. Donterrian?
I say this to people all the time at work because people ask me about content creation. Some people at work, they want to do what I do as far as being a content creator, and they ask me for tips, and some of them say they're scared and stuff like that. Just be quite blunt. I always tell them, you're going to die. All of us here are going to die. You know what I mean? And life is short. And I feel like if people really, really, really realize that, yeah, one day I'm going to die and I don't know when I'm going to die, I think it would, like, that would make them live life more. You know, as we see, like, with Chadwick Boseman and Kobe Bryant, like, I mean, they died very unexpectedly and young, you know, so forget being scared, you know, it doesn't matter, you know what I mean, it doesn't matter, do what you want to do, you know what I'm saying, if you're going to be here and you're going to live life, enjoy life, actually get out and do something that you truly want to do that makes you happy. If making content makes you happy, then do it, forget what everybody else says, you know, so just go for it, that's what I tell you, just go for it.
And Gamma Rae?
Definitely kind of to piggyback off what Dave said, because I've been approached by, you know, people wanting to get into cosplay, even, you know, black people are just kind of like apprehensive. They're just like, is that even a world, or is that even a place for me in it? And I'm just like, of course there is, like, because if you want to be in it, then yeah, there is a place for you. You make your place, you put yourself in it if that's what you want to kind of experience, and to just, like they said, not get caught up in who's going to look at it, who's going to like it. If it's something, if you're having fun with it, then do it. Like, who cares if you know, you're going to have a slew of followers, or if you're going to end up getting this like high dollar subscribing Patreon or whatnot, or who cares if you can't build a 10-foot tall transformer out of cardboard and craft foam and it looks like a real walking robot. Who cares? Like, if you just want to put on a dress and a shawl and like a wig and you're the character, that's cosplaying. I think you're doing great. I definitely think and try to encourage them, because I'm like, who knows, by you getting into it, that might help to further kind of like paying it forward to encourage somebody else to want to like kind of actively get into cosplay. So one, definitely have fun with it, because you will burn out if you're doing it for, I don't want to say the wrong reasons, but if your heart isn't in it for the right reasons, I'll just say that. But just have fun, and who cares?
And by the way, who are you dressed as today? I don't know if you mentioned.
I totally did not say that when I introduced myself. I am, if anybody has watched the Netflix anime series BNA, I am Marie.
Oh, I just started watching that
yesterday,
actually. Yeah.
So she's a mink, as she likes to keep reminding people. But yeah, I thought, and then she's a Black character. I'm just like, I love it. Dope. Why not? And very simple. Clothes, wig, bam.
And so, Trapped in Anime, any advice for those scared to get started?
Dave, you want to start?
Sure. I mean, I think I agree with what Donterrian said. I mean, that's definitely true. And then one thing I think that you have to understand is, like, you know, you're going to put out your first couple of videos, and they may not do well, but you have to stick with it, which sounds very cliche, but I'll give some more tangible advice as well, where sometimes different types of videos work better on different platforms. You upload a video on YouTube and it gets like 2 views. You never know. Put it on Facebook, put it on TikTok, put it on Instagram, Twitter. You have to diversify and put all those things out there. So definitely make sure that you diversify and try other platforms, because you never know. We've had videos that worked on one platform, but then the other one it did not work, and vice versa. So that's some tangible advice that I would recommend, is like, make sure that you're on all the platforms, because you never would know which one is going to work for you at the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean, part of some of the success that we've got is that we've had footage that we've used on other platforms, and we're like, you know what, let's just throw it up on this platform, see how it goes. If it's good, if it works, cool. If not, forget about it. And then boom, it blows up, and it's like, all right, let's roll with it. The best advice I can give personally is you got to learn how to roll with the punches, because it is challenging. It's very difficult. Like I said, it's very competitive. You know, you deal with, you know, if we're trying to take this as a business, but we were working with your friends, learning how to maintain those friendships and still be close and still learn how to talk and hang out with each other while still trying to navigate these challenges. It's tough, but again, it's the problems that you would rather have. Sure, like my day job is I deliver packages for Amazon, but at the end of the day, I recognize I don't care. Let me just get the job over with, get it out, and then get to the stuff that I really care about, which is stuff that me and my group do. So yeah, it's like I said, it's the problems you would rather have. So give it your all, stay tough, grit your teeth, stick your chin out, and say, come on, life, give me your best shot.
Nice. So usually when I'm, interviewing people, I say, before we go, tell us where we can find you next and what you have coming up. But due to COVID-19, I don't know if, it's anywhere we can see you coming up. So before we go, just close out, tell us your website and your social media pages, and if you have something coming up. Trapped in Anime, you keep going.
Sure. For us, we do try to stay on as many platforms as possible. We're on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. We upload on YouTube as well. Of course, our company is INDAFILM LLC, but our biggest property right now is Trapped in Anime. But we do have things down the line that we are trying to do. We are trying to do bigger and better things. So as long as you stay up to date with Trapped in Anime and INDAFILM, then you'll hear all the news that we have.
And Ty?
Yeah, you can follow me on Instagram at Sassfiend. That's SASSFIEND. And you can go to my website, which is my full name, TyroneciaMoore.com.
Donterrian?
You can find me on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Anime on the Couch, or you can type in Donterrian Kelly. Either way, it pops up on all social media platforms. We don't have much for us outwardly going on coming up because Corona did stop a lot of things that we had planned. But we're just going to be continuing to upload, make content, and upload content. So keep checking for us.
And Gamma Rae?
Yes, you can find me on all social media platforms at Gamma Rae Cosplay. And you can also, where I post all my cosplay and, content and so forth. And you can also check out and listen to the podcast that I co-host, Geeked Up, at Geeked Up JXN on all social media platforms as well. And our podcasts are on all listening and streaming platforms. And for me, what I have coming up, definitely wish me luck, fingers crossed. I am a finalist in the Crunchyroll Expo cosplay contest. Their virtual con is next weekend, and the cosplay contest is next Saturday night. And they will be announcing who is the winner. So I submitted my cosplay, so I'm nervous, excited. It was a challenge, it was fun. So if you want to kind of check out to see what I cosplayed as, and if I at least make maybe the first or second or third place, or even if I don't, it was just a great, overall experience just to be picked. So that's the only thing I have really coming up next.
Well, good luck with that. And if anybody is watching and didn't get to keep all of those links in their head, make sure you go to the events website at EBRPL.com/MCMC, and you click on the creators tab and you'll see info about all of us with our website links and social media links. So I've been your moderator today, Chenese Lewis. Thank you for tuning in and supporting. Don't move. There's more programming coming up next, and I believe the moderator is going to take it away from here. Thanks, you guys. I enjoyed talking to you.
Thanks for having us. Thank you.
Thank you.